Hey folks, BCSG here. Today I'm going to talk about my personal setup, the one that you see in most of my videos, as well as ultralight tackle with respect to Singapore. And now I can go into a whole history lesson behind that, but that's going to make the video really too long. I actually have a friend, his name is Nick. I mentioned him in my previous video. He has a blog that talks all about ultralight fishing, you know, about the Japanese side of things, how it started, onto the European side of light rock fishing and street fishing and all of that. So I'll put a link in the description below. You can just click on it, go check it out, read up more about ultralight fishing. So how does ultralight fishing fit into the Singapore scene? Well, as I've mentioned in a few of my videos, Singapore is small. It's a tiny place. We have very limited grounds to fish. When you have limited grounds and a large population of anglers, you inevitably encounter a situation where each of the grounds becomes very high pressure. Now, generally what high pressure means is a lot of people fish the same grounds over and over again. The fish get wary, they recognize what you're throwing at them, and they don't really react. They don't react very well to the standard affair. Simply put, the older and the larger the fish is, the more exposed it is to whatever we're throwing at it. So its instincts, it's learned to avoid certain things, it's learned to associate certain things with getting caught. And really what that results in is the ones that do bite are actually the younger, more juvenile fish, which are also a lot smaller. Hence, high pressured fishing grounds generally see far more smaller fish taking the bait than large ones. Now, but what's the fun of hauling in a fish, you know, like a 6 to 10 inch fish on an 8 to 16 pound rod? I mean, you're just overpowering the fish. The fish doesn't even really get a chance to fight much, and that's not really that fun at all. Local fishing, I think it's about the fight above all else. It's about giving the fish a chance. You know, ultralight fishing is about giving the fish a chance and pitting your skills as an angler against the fish, which basically means you have to scale your tackle down to the size of the fish that you're catching. So what if you actually hook a monster? I mean, some guys ask me like, hey, your rod is 2 to 5 pounds. But what if I get something bigger than that? What if I get something to the tune of 5 kilos? That's about 11 pounds, you know, 10, 11 pounds. What am I going to do then? Well, I mean, the way I see it, I mean, we, as anglers, we got to work for our fish once in a while. We got to work for the big ones, and that's when the challenge really comes in. You know, you can't be gearing up for the best case scenario and going out there with the heaviest gear just so you can land that big one, or you can guarantee that you'll land that big one. I think once in a while you have to present yourselves with a viable challenge. You know, so you get a setup that is proportionate to the average fish that you're catching, and if you hit a big one, just fight it out. Pitch your skills against the fish. That's what fishing is all about. All right, on to my personal setup. This is the setup that you'll see, the rod and reel that you'll see featured in about 90% of my videos. Let me grab it. Okay, this is it right here. This is the Daiwa BBB telescopic rod. It's 6.5 feet long, 6 feet 6 inches. It's rated for 2 to 5 pounds, and it's fast action, almost extra fast, which is just the way I like it. Now, a little note about the action of the rod. Yes, there's a lot of technicalities you can get into for rod action, but at the end of the day, the most important thing to remember about rod action is its personal preference. Just because someone likes a certain action does not mean you should be using that action for the application. You got to test it out. So this is a Daiwa BBB. It's the BBB series is all telescopic. It's a very high quality telescopic rod. The reason why I needed a telescopic rod is because A, I don't drive. B, I like to have my fishing gear with me at all times. So I decided that, you know, hey, maybe I should look into some telescopic rods, and I came across a few, this Daiwa one being the final choice. And I realized that if I'm going to get a telescopic rod, I need it for the mobility, if I'm gonna need, if I'm gonna be hunting for quality along with that, I'm gonna have to drop, I wouldn't say top dollar, but I'm gonna have to drop a decent amount of money. So this rod right here cost me, including shipping, I shipped it in from Japan, it cost me about 220 something, 230 Singapore dollars. And it's worth the money. The quality is really, really good for a telescopic rod. I've never seen a telescopic rod constructed with such high quality blanks before. I'm pretty sure there are some out there, but not that I've encountered. Now I pair it up here with the Shimano Ultegra, reel right there. It's the Ultegra 1000. The reason why I like this reel is because it's a workhorse reel. Now what a workhorse reel means, it's basically a reel that you can use on a day-to-day basis. It's not one of those reels that you go on an epic fishing trip and you whip out the Stella or the Twin Power or something like that. It's not for special occasions, it's for everyday fishing, the workhorse reel. Okay, so onto the line. We're just going to touch on the line real quick. I use YGK Powerhunter line. This line, well, it's on the cheaper side for Japanese line. Now it's still expensive because it's a Japanese line, but it's on the cheaper side. It holds knots really well. You know, the thinner your leader is, the tougher it is to tie an FG knot. That is true, but so far this line holds the knot really well. I have not had a single slip on this line. The color does run. This used to be red, now it's almost white, but I have been using this line for a while and it's been holding up pretty well. So okay, let me just go ahead and open this to show you. So this is how small it packs down into. This is a 6.5 foot rod, and I'll show you why, part of the reason why I prefer to use a telescopic rod over a 4-piece or a 5-piece travel rod. It's because it unpacks in literally a minute. So I take it out like so. I already have the line threaded through. That's how I keep it in there. All right, so I just open the bail arm, and you can start the timer if you want, just to show how long it takes me to get this rod out. These Daiwa telescopic rods have floating guides, which is a really awesome feature. Because the downside about most telescopic rods is they have as many guides as there are sections on the rod, which means if this is a 6-section rod, you're only going to have 6 guides. Now that's really not that ideal, because as everyone knows, the number of guides, especially the spacing of the guides, does affect the rod action and the rod performance. So there, I'm done. What was that, like a minute? Yeah, so, and I'm ready to go. I just unclip my snap here, I snap on a lure, and I'm good to go. Now, a lot of folks ask me, but whether I ever encounter a situation where the guides kind of twist out of alignment when I'm casting? Actually, I haven't actually encountered that situation before. What they do is they have these rubber feet. These rubber feet right here. Let me see if I can get it a bit closer. All right. So they have these rubber feet underneath the guide right there, and that holds the guide in place really well. Another thing that helps me get the rod out really quickly is if you can see right here, I've drawn a line. So what I did was, the first time I got this rod, I pulled it out, I assembled it really nicely, made sure the guides were lined up, and I took a silver permanent marker and I marked out. You basically just draw a line like that. And from that point on, of course, let it dry. And from that point on, every single time you extend the rod, you just need to line up the lines with each other, and there you go. That is like 90% of the reason why I can get this set up so quickly. So if you have a telescopic rod, tip of the day for telescopic rods. Do that. Set it up nicely, mark it, and it'll do wonders for you every time you go out and fish. Yeah, so basically this is the setup I use. My leader is, once again, it's a YGK fluorocarbon leader. It's rated for 3.5 kilos, which I believe is about 8 pounds, just under 8 pounds, I think. I use an owner dual snap right there. This is the snap that I use. I hope you can see it. Okay, it's a dual snap. It's rounded at the end. That's really important. This is rated for 11 pounds. Frankly, I'm using an ultralight setup. I have no reason to use a snap that is heavier than 11 pounds, and this was the smallest one I could get. So there we go. That's pretty much everything there is to know about my setup. I hope you liked this video. I hope you learned something from it. I hope I taught you something. If you like my videos, subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bonus section. Between the time I recorded this video and the time I'm posting it, this happened. I broke my rod in 2 different places. Right here at the tip and in the butt. Let me see if I can describe what happened. So, as you can see, I have this rod rack here. My rods are racked up like that. I happen to have this rod fully extended after taking the video. Fully extended, and it was just in the rack with the reel hanging out, with the line in and all of that. And I grabbed my bag. I'm in a rush to go out. I grabbed my bag and I just walked past the rod rack. The line that was spooled in caught one of the zippers in my bag, and I was moving so fast that I didn't even have time to react. I just heard a whipping sound and a huge crack. So, yeah. Now, fortunately, not all is lost. I have here this rod. This is also a Daiwa telescopic rod. It's a much older rod. This rod is probably like 6 or 7 years old. It's the Daiwa Prime Gate telescopic. Let me see if I can get that into view. Right there. Yeah, Daiwa Prime Gate. It's also a telescopic rod. It's rated a bit heavier. It's rated for 3 to 8 pounds. And I've already ordered one more of these. I mean, the minute I broke it, within like 1 hour, I placed an order for another one because I was so pissed off. I was seriously pissed off. Yeah, so this, whilst I'm waiting for this one to come in, this guy over here is gonna serve as my substitute. So yeah, bonus section. See ya.